Welcome into a live edition of the Roll Jays podcast. Jimmy Allen, Casey Matthews, Alex Drake, live with you above the CHI Health Center here at the scrimmage between the Creighton Blue Jays and the Purdue Boilermakers at halftime. Your score, Creighton 48, Purdue 43. Some highlights from early in the game. I mean, the highlight that stood out to me the most, Fred King has looked like a completely different player. We caught up with Derek Kellogg last week, and he talked about Fred's improvement. His footwork is drastically improved.
Yeah, and not only talking about his footwork and being better, he came right up. He had handled some knee injuries or knee problems early on in the season. Looks totally different. He looks explosive again.
I mean, that's the biggest thing about Fred King is his explosiveness. I'd like to see him be a little bit better defensively off the ball. He's getting lost a little bit. Purdue's so sophisticated offensively, and because they're so old already, they have so much of their playbook already in. So they've got him on some of those back screens on the baseline. But, yeah, much improvement I've seen so far from Fred. Love it.
The other takeaway I took away was it's really been nice to see Stephen Ashworth not be the main ball handler 100% of the time. Obviously, he's going to be your point guard in the system. You need him to be involved. He's hit a couple of big shots tonight. But the fact that Pop Isaacs has been able to take a little bit of that role, we saw Ty Davis take a little bit of the point at one point tonight too. It's nice just to see guys be able to facilitate other roles.
No question. I mean, in that area, if Pop's going to shoot 80% from three, we're going to be pretty good. And, you know, obviously I'm a big Ty Davis fan. I think he's going to be a great player here. Great to see him get on the court. I hope that continues as the regular season starts. But you're right, man. Just to have a very versatile backcourt and teams not be able to key in on one guy handling the ball it's such a luxury for Mac.
I think you guys missed it. At one point, we had Ty Davis.
Yeah, somebody had to go get somebody out of the elevator.
Jackson,
I was a little bit late.
We talked about lineup flexibility, right?
Yeah.
At one point, when you guys were on the elevator, we had Ty Davis, Jackson McAndrews, Jason Green, Isaac Strout, and Fred King on the court. It was nice to see.
Probably the only time you'll see
all the different things you could do.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with Jemiah Neal's ability to get in defensively and make some stops and just take up some space on the floor. That's something I think was missing a little bit last year.
Yeah, I want to see more from Jemiah this half. I want to see him run the offense. The ball sticks a little bit with him. There's a couple of times, especially late in the half, where he got it. Still 10, 12 seconds on the shot clock. You just got to keep running your motion. You keep doing what you do. You can't just look for, how do I get to the basket? It's too late. It's too late in the shot, early in the shot clock to do that. So I'd like to see him run a little bit more offense, but that's going to come with time.
Jason Green struggled a little bit early on defense, but I was super excited.
He got the start tonight, by the way.
He did get the start. Super excited to see him come out confident. He hasn't shot well either, but he took two early threes.
Yeah, right now your leading scorer is Pop Isaacs with 14 points on the night, but he has had a couple of turnovers. He's had a couple of traveling calls. He had two passes really get thrown kind of nowhere, and that's going to be expected, but it's really nice to have, obviously, you had the scrimmage against Iowa State last week, and then getting this scrimmage in here against this level of competition is going to help catch a guy up who's a former first-team All-Big 12 guy get caught up into this Creighton offense.
Well, I think what you're seeing is Pop can get by his man. He's really good snaking those ball screens and getting in the lane. That's something we really didn't have as much of last year in terms of a guy that can really go attack off of that. Obviously, Trey was phenomenal at snaking the ball screen, but he settled for that mid-range jumper. What we see with Pop is he'll get in there, he'll mix it up, and try to make a play. Is he going to turn it over sometimes? Yeah, but you got to live with it because you got to keep defenses honest over the course of the season. So I loved it.
In that same token, Jemiah Neal did the same thing earlier today, and he ended up drawing three, and he's laid it off to Fred for a nice, easy dunk. The ability to attack the rim is something that we haven't had in a while.
Yeah,
and that's what's really exciting.
Not only that, but the one thing that stood out to me the most out of any offensive possession, there was a possession where they got it into Kalkbrenner underneath the basket, and you had three guys that were wide open because of that. And Ryan almost looked confused because he's like, I can really get it out anywhere. And you had Pop in the corner, you had Ashworth at the top of the key, and then you had Isaac Trout, in the bottom key, and he just kicked it out to Trout, and Trout buried a three.
I'm sitting here laughing, guys. Literally, we're a couple minutes in here, and we haven't talked about the preseason All-American.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great sign. I mean, you're playing a great team in Purdue, who, again, they're established. Matt Painter's a heck of a coach. Let's not sleep on this either, guys. Paul Lusk is on that staff. Paul knows
a little
his
bit of inside knowledge there. Yeah.
He knows the offense really well, and we've still scored 48 points on 31 shots. Like, I really like what I see offensively. Defensively, we got to get better. We know that. But that comes with time. We got not warm-up games. We got 4 games against not as good a competition as we're playing tonight to really fix some of that defensively, some of those concepts that we got to nail down.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned 48 points.
Team that played for a title last year.
You just mentioned 48 points on 31 shots. We also just mentioned 4 turnovers too. So it's like you're still shooting at that high of a level with still some offensive deficiencies.
I mean, this Purdue team is still going to be very good. Yeah, you don't have Zach Edey. You still return a lot of those parts. I've been very impressed with their freshman who started on Stephen Ashworth. He is ferocious on defense. I'm very pleasantly surprised with how well this team is playing early.
Yeah, me too. Off the ball, we do need to be better defensively. Purdue runs a lot of actions where they're running staggers, back screens, and so you got to be able to see your man and the ball at all times. Run our concepts, switch if we have to, but we chase on staggers, so we got to do a little bit better there. But I love facing these offensive concepts now in a game that doesn't count. I think it's great for our guys, great for the fans to see a high level team come in here to the CHI and see the brand new court too. Pretty cool deal.
It looks great.
And the other thing too, Casey, I don't know how much you agree or disagree with this take.
Probably disagree.
More than likely.
This to me is a perfect game, an example of how 2 different styles can achieve the same goal. Purdue shoots a ton, but they play 2 bigs inside, whereas Creighton plays spread around 1 guy.
100%. The physicality, we won't see physicality like this for a while. So I think it's great for us to see it. The Big East, I think the Big Ten gets blown up and they're so physical. The Big East is pretty physical too, pretty tough league. So this is great for our guys.
Yeah, the one thing you guys mentioned, Zach Edey, obviously off the NBA. And I feel like despite not having to be in Detroit for Easter last year, we got robbed of that Kalkbrenner versus Edey matchup that would have been a ton of fun to watch. But I mean,
should have let Edey come back for this one.
Yeah. I mean, they're off tonight. He could have came in. It doesn't matter anyway. But right now, your score at halftime, 48-43. The Jays lead. Alex and I will be back for Blue Jay overtime tonight on 1620 The Zone. Thanks for joining us here on the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. We'll see you after the game on 1620 The Zone.
Roll Jays.